Good morning, everybody. Back. It's in the morning. I got a lot of thoughts in the morning, so I like to write, create content, make videos. That's what I'm gonna start doing, making videos in the morning off of my thoughts. So today, what I really want to talk about is I have a client, and she came to me talking about fear of rejection. Is one of her biggest things that she's scared of in moving forward with her business and moving forward with other endeavors in her life. So I've got a lot of thoughts about that because I have dealt with that in the past myself, and I know a lot of people deal with it. And the first thing that I want to ask is, on my paper that's on the ground that I need to grab. So you cannot accept who you are because you don't accept what you're not. And what that means is, what doesn't accept what you are not is your true self. And you can't accept who you are because that's not who you are. That is your conditioned self. So it's like your nature is your true self and your nurture is your conditioned self. And this concept is true for a lot of people. And you have a self, and you have a true self, and then you have the self that you became. And how do we become this? And how do we even care about people rejecting us? Why do we care about people rejecting us? Well, it's because you want to be accepted. And if you want to be accepted, why? Why do you need to be accepted by anybody else? Why? The only reason that I can think of is because you don't accept yourself. And let's break that down. So I've learned a lot from my kids since I've had them, and they're 3.5 and 1.5 years old. They strip down naked. They out in public, at our house or wherever, out in public, want to take a poop in the woods, go pee anywhere. They don't care. They don't care what anybody thinks about them, and they completely accept themselves, and they're completely okay with pissing us off, and they're completely okay with us getting mad at them, and disrupting the environment because it's what they want to do, and they're fun, they're loud, and that's what kids are. But they accept themselves completely. Now imagine if an adult was to act just like that kid, playing with Play-Doh all day, running around naked, hitting things, throwing things at the TV, pissing other adults off all the time. We wouldn't be accepted. We would be, shunned from society, essentially. And think about it too. You needed to be accepted as a tribe member, 50,000 years ago. You needed to be accepted because if you weren't, that meant that your family, shuns you, and you don't eat. You're not a part of the tribe. You're on your own, and you're more likely to die because it's more likely that you can survive with a group of people than not back in those times. Dangerous times. So you need to understand why acceptance is important. I mean, it is important, but what it is you don't accept who you are. You don't accept what you're doing. And that's how it relates to fear of rejection. You are looking for someone to accept a part of you that is actually you in them. You want them to accept it because you don't accept it for yourself, so you need somebody else to, see you for who you are and understand you. So that's how, our parents are the first relationship that we have that, condition us into understanding what others will accept and what others want for us. And that can be a good and a bad thing. The parents really do, create this relationship within yourself of whether or not you accept yourself or not. Um, when you say no more times than you say yes, and sometimes yes, parents, like, you have to, and like that's the thing, like, I understand, but it's when you say no more than you give, you let them decide, or you mildly correct them. You're constantly telling them not to do this, not to do this, not to do that. Don't run over there, don't talk to her, don't blah blah blah. you know and you show that you don't accept the child. You punish them, or you come and get them, and you pull them back, and they learn that that is not an okay behavior. And even though I want to do that, I shouldn't, because my environment does not, it gives me negative feedback. My environment is not conducive to me doing this behavior. So the child learns that over time, and that conditions them into behaviors. And those behaviors may not be in line with what the child actually wants, aka also what the adult actually wants. And you get into that pattern, and you always are made self-conscious and self-aware of these behaviors that someone else would not approve of. And you're looking to be accepted and safe and feel real within your environment. And your environment is your mother and father's home. And that's where you want to be. So this is your first relationship, and then you get into peers when you're in middle school and whatnot, and you get bullied for things you don't have, the things you do have, or the way that you look. I was bullied all the time, which it was not even a bully, but it made me start to shower before school. I used to have crazy bad bedhead, and they used to call me Bump It. I don't know if you guys remember that commercial. It's as seen on TV. It was a Bump It that you put like right here to like made the girl's hair like have a bump in it. And because my hair would just bend and coil right here, so I would look like I have a big bump on my head. I didn't shower before school, because I showered the night before and went to bed with my head wet, and I didn't care what people thought. But then when I kept getting like people like dude, your hair, then I started to shower. That was like peer pressure, that like I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I probably should shower, it's probably a good idea, just be clean before school. But did I need to? No, you don't. Period. I mean, some people feel better doing that, great for them, but it doesn't matter. Sometimes I shower in the morning, sometimes I don't. But I do look at my hair, I guess, now. So then your peers start to bully you, and your peers start to condition you and teach you how to act and whatnot. And some people do well with that, and some people have a good time in school, and some people don't have a good time in school. And then high school, that intensifies even more. And all of this, is shoved into becoming what you think you should be. And what you think you should be is a bit different than what you really are. And if you've lost total connection with your child self, and like understanding what that child wants, and what your truest self wants, you're not going to accept who you become. And if you don't accept who you become, you fear that others are going to reject the true you, because the world has shown you time and time again that it rejects the true you. So that's just my thoughts on fear, rejection, and acceptance, and how it kind of happens. See if I have anything else here that I really, care to talk about. Another little thing too. Our evolution does not change that fast. We are used to only having feedback from like maximum 200 people in our entire lifetime, because we could only travel where the horses could take us, or where we could walk if we had it. We only needed to go get water. and it was rare, and there was like trading exchanges and whatnot. Yes, but we didn't see that many people. We didn't see that many people. Just think about it. Just period, in person, in real life, in daily life. But then now there's access to what, 4 billion social media accounts. We have feedback from all these freaking people. That's too much. It's just too much feedback. So when you think about it that way too, like if you, like, say for example, you post something that's 100 people see. Let's, for better numbers, let's post something that you post something that 10,000 people see, and 50 people hate it. That's 50 people just hate it all of a sudden. The other and then there's a lot of the other people are neutral and then people are good, but 50 people just absolutely hate it. Those 50 people that hate it are going to be the loudest comments, because they're, that negativity is very loud. Negativity, just sends negative vibrations, down to our spine. We see it, we hear it, and it's loud for some people, it's louder for others. Well, that's only, let's see, 1% would be, I can't math right now. 1% would be 100 times 100 would be 10,000. So that's 0.5% of the people. 99.5% of the people either were indifferent or enjoyed, whatever you did. But 50 people absolutely hated it. That's 0.5% of people. But it's a lot, absolutely, because we're only used to seeing 200 people. So if those 200 people and 50 of them, if those 200 hated us, it's going to feel like a big deal. But not 50 of 1,000. But it's still absolutely in our psychology and the way that we've evolved still understands that as 50 absolute people, and that's a lot of people. That's a lot of feedback, and we don't focus on the positives.